works for Dr. Ted. And the other speaker is Jessica Leon, and she is a CSU Fresno senior, and she's pursuing a degree in history. And they've been working on the Mausoleum Restoration Program, and they're going to tell us all about it tonight. Okay? Let's introduce them. Thank you.
So, I don't know if anyone's seen this, but not for a while. It is in front of the Mausoleum, and Dr. Mikado was right. When you walk in, it's just really magical, and you just can feel everything, all the history that it has. So the architecture, we actually have someone on our committee who is an architect and works on all of this. Person's back there, so she gave me all my information for the architecture. The architect on the mausoleum was John Joseph Frauenfelder. He designed the mausoleum in 1918, and he had it designed with the style of Greek Revival, and it's pretty apparent in the columns and the pediments and everything. And it was developed with a base architectural style that's associated with the classical style, and it symbolized strength, longevity, and past greatness, which is fitting for the people that are interred in the mausoleum. And a couple just little facts about it. It's approximately 10,000 square feet and can hold, actually it's holding right now, approximately 498 people. It was made of reinforced concrete and embellished with bronze, polished marble, and stained glass. And we have some pictures of the stained glass and everything, and we'll be able to see that later. And at the time that this was being developed, there was an ad in the Morning Republican, and they coined the mausoleum as humanity's gift to the people of Fresno and a grand memorial to the dead. So it just kind of visual to the grandeur of the mausoleum. So a little background on it. Some nearby residents were against the cemetery. Moses Day Church came in and said, here's a plot of land. It would be great if we could do a cemetery here. But the nearby residents were a little upset about the idea of a cemetery being in the area because they believed the water would be tarnished and infected by the seepage of having a cemetery in the area. And so they deemed the location that Moses Day Church wanted to place the cemetery in to be unhealthy. So the local residents, they protested it by cutting the cemetery fences down, and if there were any holes around, they would stick dead animal carcasses in there to show they were against it. Eventually there was an agreement made between the residents and the owners of the land, the Day Church, and others wanted the cemetery there. A canal was to be constructed to bring water for irrigation within 90 days. 60 acres was to be given for cemetery purposes, which would move the cemetery 2.5 miles northwest of town. And residents agreed that if the water was not brought to the land within the time specified, that they would no further object to the present location of the cemetery remaining where it is. So now we have Mountain View Cemetery, which holds Oddfellows Mausoluem. And our first person we're going to look at is B.G. Vachon. He was born in Phelps County, Missouri on November 6, 1858 to Miriam and Mary Vachon. His father, Marion, was actually a merchant and a farmer at St. James, Missouri in Phelps County. His mother's father was from a prominent, distinguished Virginia family. He was the eldest of 7 children, 5 of whom moved to California as well as their mother. He graduated from the Missouri School of Mines at Lowell, Missouri, which is a branch of the University of Missouri. So, we'll see what's there. He held various jobs from the age of 18 and on after he graduated from school. And one of his first jobs, he was employed in the office of a wholesale grocery firm of Moody, Mitchell & Company in St. Louis. After that, he traveled around the South for Adler Bolton Company, who were cotton brokers and commissioned merchants from St. Louis as well. He was also engaged in the mercantile business for himself and successfully conducted stores for Sullivan, Missouri, Stanton, Missouri, Franklin County, and St. James, Missouri. Eventually, he disposed of his stores and became chief of office for Captain R.M. Peck, who was the superintendent of buildings and bridges for the Missouri Pacific Railroad at Pacific, which is a town in Franklin County. County. He eventually resigned from that trust in 1888 and decided to move to California. So when Mr. Wishon moved to California, he associated himself with the San Joaquin Lumber Company in Tulare, as well as working as a cashier and bookkeeper for Tulare County Bank. So he had a lot going on at the same time. He was a very busy man. So Mr. Wishon eventually opened an office in Tulare for his various enterprises. He was a notable factor in the promotion of pump irrigation in the San Joaquin Valley. He is known for building the Exeter Ditch, which allowed water to flow from the Kaweah River along the base of the hills from almost to Lindsay. This picture here currently is the Exeter Historical Museum, but it once was a subdivision of the Mount Whitney Power Company, which is something that Mr. Wishon is also known for. At the time the task of the Exeter Ditch was taken, the orange and lemon groves in the region were not designed to be supplied by the canal, so it made the task very expensive and very difficult to endure. So Mr. Wishon's completion, he transformed the land into one of the best districts for producing sections in the state. And he also financed the enterprise, and after its completion, sold his land at a very handsome profit, although well-deserved. In May 1903, A.G. Wishon became the general manager of the San Joaquin Power Company and eventually became the vice president, as well as being the director and manager of the Fresno City Railroad, vice president and manager of the Fresno Water Company. He was active in the organization of the Fresno Traction Company, and when he became involved in the Fresno Traction Company, there was a capitalization of $5 million to which they used to absorb the Fresno City Railroad so they can construct a line to Yosemite Valley, which is a very gorgeous run, probably the most gorgeous area in the state. And in October of 1881, A.G. Wishon married Miss Henrietta Emery in St. James, Missouri. And he was a Mason charter member of Los Palmas Lodge, Free and Associated Masons at Fresno, along with other branches. He belonged to various other organizations as well. He passed away on June 17, 1936, and is resting in the Oddfellows Mausoluem at Mountain View Cemetery. Here is his headstone. And the headstone pictures, by the way, have been provided by Lester. He's over here in the corner. Thank you, Lester. And he is joined in the mausoleum with his wife and 4 other members of the Wishon family. So when you walk in, you see all the Wishon names and you know who they are. And next we have David Fett. He was born in Ohio in 1854, comes from a family of 12 children, attended local schools, and lived with his father until he was 22 years old. Out of the 12 children, he was the only one to move out to California, and he was very proud of that. He migrated to California after he left his father at 22 years of age, went to Colorado to work in mining and teaming until 1881, when he decided to head out the rest of the way to California. When he arrived to Fresno County, he first purchased property in Selma in 1895 and stayed until his move to Parlier, which came about when he married Eliza Parlier. When he bought his property in Fresno County, it was near Selma in 1885, and he initially owned 120 acres. After some time, he realized 120 acres is a bit much for me. I think I'm going to sell 40 more acres. So he sold off 40 acres to someone to kind of minimize a little bit. But not long after that, in 1907, he had an accident with Santa Fe Railroad, which took off one of his feet. So he can't move around a lot, so he decided to sell 40 more acres so the land would be a lot more manageable for himself. In 1893, Mr. Fett courted and married Miss Eliza Catherine Parlier, and in 1902, they made the town of Parlier his official residence, although still holding his land in Selma. Miss Parlier was the daughter of I.N. Parlier, who was a pioneer after the town of Parlier was named. They had Mr. Fett and Miss Eliza Parlier. When they married, they had 3 children, Abel, Roy, and Raymond. Roy passed away when he was about 2.5 years of age. And so that's that. And next we have Fred J. Dow. He was born in Switzerland County, Indiana, on February 13, 1865. If you ever look at Switzerland County, you'll see that it's still a very rural area with a about 19 years old. In 1884, his father, William H. Dow, decided to move his family to California because he didn't really like the climate in the Midwest and decided to settle in Fresno County. When Mr. Dow and his family arrived in California, Mr. William H. Dow purchased a 40-acre tract of land and began development on raisin vineyard. And Mr. William H. Dow himself became well known in Fresno County and lived here until his death in 1910. After arriving in California with the rest of his family, Fred J. Dow found employment within the Griffin Skelly Company and remained with them for the next 20 years. When he started out, he worked his way from the bottom up, and that allowed him to learn the various phases and aspects of the fruit business, which eventually benefited him. Later on, he would begin to purchase a lot of town lots in Fresno and a lot of ranch acreage. In 1893, Fred J. Dow married a Bakersfield-born Ray Lundy. 2 years later, they welcomed a son, Kenneth L. Dow. In 1904, Mr. Dow resigned his position with Griffin Skelly Company and purchased an interest in the Merchants Warehouse Company of Fresno, which he worked and built up for the next 2 years. He also bought a half interest in the shoe business, which had 2 stores within Fresno. And in 1912, Mr. Dow organized the contracting building firm, Dow & Cannon. This allowed Mr. Dow to display and utilize his talents within the building industry as an energetic and successful businessman. He was also obtaining an increased financial interest by becoming a stockholder and a director in the Fresno Savings Bank and the Union National Bank of Fresno. He also owned a business block adjoining Griffin and McKenzie building. During his time in Fresno County from 1884 until his death in 1940, Mr. Dow is identified with viticulture and business interests, specifically within the building industry of the San Joaquin Valley.